And we are live. Hello, everyone.
Where's the one?
People don't count.
The one that got away.
Come on, haven't you ever seen like iCarly? They never say one. They're always like, and 3, 2, I know you'll see.
No, I have actually not seen that film.
Well,
The film show.
Well, it's done for pretty much everything. They never count one for whatever reason. But yeah, we just counted ourselves in. If you guys are wondering, which we don't usually do. I was just being extra during that time. Hello there, Kingdom. We are going to be discussing the fantastic, holy, such a long ass name. The Summoned, Brave, and Fantastic Boyfriends collaboration with Tokyo Afterschool Summers, both IPs developed by LifeWonders. And
just call it Fantastic Boyfriends and Where to Find Them.
Funnily enough, the game has a different name if you actually download it and change the language to English. But which is not the name that is on the website at all. It's like Legends of Mid-Earth or something.
Yeah, I saw it and I was like, I'm just gonna ignore that subtitle. It's not canon. Because because the English release isn't canon.
Maybe they'll think it will appeal more to the Western Gaijin base.
I don't know. Hopefully they'll bring this out of the grave and actually deal with it, because I would like to actually try out a dating sim / game that is not just about Morinatsu and Forever Cucks is the main root character. Rip Hiko. Anyways, returning today for our discussion is Irby.
What?
Introduce
yourself. Hello, I am Irby. I am very excited about this collab, and I am going to be very biased.
Yeah, we've had like a giant dearth period in terms of content recently. Between the several reprints in a row and non-event campaigns, and now this weird collaboration, which isn't really an event that might be tied to the main quest, but Irby, on the other hand, seems to be like the sole survivor of interest in this game, wailing in every single passing banner that has passed.
That's actually not true. It's not been every banner. It's just been the teacher banner this one.
Well, you also pulled for Hogan, so...
I did, but I didn't wail for Hogan.
But you did use your horde.
I did use some of my teams.
But basically, Irby's been living in paradise. LifeWonders has been specifically been designing game around him.
It's not paradise. It's hell, because I'd rather have some amount of downtime to not be spending anything. Like, where is Advara Falls type event?
What? That's the best event ever! How dare you get out of my stream? I'm kicking you out personally. Okay, anyways, everyone else is enjoying their downtime, such as the second person who is joining us in this discussion, Zalgus.
Hello, I am Zalgus, and I am not enjoying this event. Actually, I forgot what Irby said. I was going to say the exact opposite, but similar enough. I am not excited for this event. It's very whatever. On the flip side, today I hit 1,000 day login. Hooray!
Oh.
Now you can spend those 50 stones on the banner that you don't care about. Poggers.
Yeah, I mean, their 3 stars are all kind of shit anyway, so...
They're all limited though. If you don't get them now, you'll never get them ever again.
Sorry.
Except when they reprint them.
Yeah.
Everything's limited.
Well, they might get the Clash of Floats treatment where it happens 2 years later. So...
I don't care about them though.
Well, anyways...
One day you will be pleading to get Soul's 3-star for a specific challenge.
Oh yeah.
Nullify defense and nullify protection is not owned by anyone, so it's always neat to have the first of their kind. And I'll be, of course, introduce myself as Arathan, which, you know, it's like, if you don't know who I am already, then why the fuck are you here? But I am actually somewhat happy for this event just because, you know, it's the first legitimate event, no reprints, even though it is weird in its nature and being a collaboration event. But there's level seeds and there's skill seeds, so that's all I care about in the shop. Let me just read in the chat. Let's see. Lucer says, hello, Kumers. Never use that word again, Lucer, or I will hunt you down and make sure you can't breathe. And Kingdom says, finally you're here. What's up, Zalgus?
I already have Soul 3 star anyway from my tickets.
Oh, then you're ready. You're set.
I have the only unique unit on banner. And yet, or actually, I'll hold my tongue, but...
Yeah, but I was feeling the same way. Like, everyone else is just like some mixture of what already exists. Soul's like, well, I'm talking about Souls, I guess. Spoiler, I think he has a unique thing that, you know.
The sole disappointment of this banner.
I'm gonna punch you in the gut. Anyways.
Well, Nekros also has something unique.
We'll get to that super soon. You're literally the first one to discuss in this. No, wait, that your last one. No. Yeah, Zalg is the beginning. Oh well, ripped Orby. You're just gonna have to.
Oh
wait.
well.
Let me finish the comments first, and then maybe you can hint on it. Collab units finally. Yeah, can't believe that LifeWonders has been holding their collab originally for themselves. This fantastic boyfriends. I totally didn't steal that joke from Reddit, by the way. Gawi says, hello. They're not notable, though. Arahu, yeah, Ara's a complete mystery to me, too. Hey, Ryan. Soul is kind of... Take our analysis first, and then... Well, I don't know. Honestly, though, it seems like a lot of people, mostly because of Irby's propaganda, has been disliking Soul.
I've actually been liking Soul a lot more after using him in the event. He's actually pretty good against those enemies in particular.
Only because the enemies.
Well, they can do more of that in the future.
Yeah.
They can do more of that in the future.
God, I hope not.
Just use Eta or Tajikado. Anyways, Lucer says, choke me. Okay. Later, Lucer, later. Gawi says, he may be... Holy crap, you guys keep on talking. Can you, let us start our analysis soon? I'll just rush through this. He may be handsome, but he sure as is weak. Orgus feels a lot more weaker than I thought. 2 Malphys and 40... There's always gonna be fucking gotcha Sultan in these chat, isn't there? Get Nekros and not his 3-star, but his 5-star. I just want his 3-star for the collection. Rip. That is, such a... What's the term for that? It's like... Well, it's like when you complain about not getting 5-star you want, except it's even worse because it's actually the 5-star of the unit you did want, but you just want 3-star. There's nothing rip about that. Wow, the units are so good in their events. Shocker. Well, that's kind of arguable in this case.
But, this doesn't mean that things like these won't appear anymore. They can very well replicate what they've done here. No, it's not. It's not like the evasion thing behind enemies has been exclusive before or something.
Yeah, true.
Enemies with low HP and evasion has not been replicated in future challenge quests. It has happened sometimes.
Mark my words. I'll elaborate on this before, but they're gonna make enemies more formidable, not just laugh about this fight. Was stuff like more defense buffs, more game-killing debuffs deep bind and all that. Because actually, in the job quests, Nekros can actually bind you for a reason, and Horus still has limit for a reason. So these things that they usually exclude are now being fucking put inside job quests. Just mark my words. They're actually gonna be much harder to compensate for as the power creep and our own optimal units.
I do hope that is the case, and the enemies start stacking defense buff.
Okay. By the way, you read Lucer's comment, right? Just am
I quiet?
It's like you're good when you're good, but then when your mic does the thing, it's like huh? Sorry.
Is it better now?
It is wonderful, Irby. Thank you.
Okay.
But we'll let you know when you have to repeat yourself, which might be sooner than later. Anyways, not to delay Zalgus, the man of the hour, any longer. Please begin off with Hero.
Okay, so Hero. So the way he works is
Could you change him to his 4-star page, please? Because his 3-star kind of.
Don't you mean it kind of slashes?
No. So, 3-star. I mean, 3-star hero is not a character from Smash, but he is easy to. He is the free unit of this collab, which unfortunately means that, like every other free unit except MC, he costs 2 extra, which is kind of annoying. It kind of makes it annoying trying to fit him in the current team because he gives bonus, but that's a minor problem anyways. So the way that
usually it's something we don't even notice, but for this specific event, his 2 extra cost has apparently been troublesome for both me and Zalgus. Not sure about Irby, but I had to restructure my team completely just because of that 2 extra cost.
Well, not everyone has 72.
I had to put like the deity on my team because I didn't have cost to put a bonus unit there. Pensive.
Right. Anyway, so the way hero works is that his first 2 skills, for the first 4 turns of every phase, if he gets a buff, he will gain a unique attack buff. So the way he works is he's supposed to kind of ramp up. First turn he gets an attack buff, second turn he gets another one, so on, and then he maxes out a crit plus, and he'll have all 4 buffs at that point, and he'll do a lot of damage. Let me bring up my notes, which I don't have open. Great. How much damage does he do? Yes, on turn 4, when he has all of his buffs, he will do 124,306 damage to every tile he hits, which is, a lot. Of course, this means he's really slow to ramp up. It takes him 4 turns to, get to his big firepower moment. But honestly, even with only attack up and some other attack buff from someone else, because if you give him like the Ardor or Vigor from somewhere else, those are super common. He actually deals respectable damage even with just 2 attack buffs. Example is Ardor and attack up is 10,358 damage to every tile. So that's decent turn 1 damage.
Yeah. I would agree with that sentiment. Irby was sort of mentioning earlier how he disliked how all the buffs just ended before, but
I kind of dislike the fact that the unit's potential is locked behind these
slow ramp up.
Only on turn 4 will it be useful.
I mean,
not be useful. Not be useful. That's not what I meant. But
like
only
be
on
broken.
turn 4 will you be broken? Yes, exactly. But
it's only a free unit.
It is kind of nice, but it can also mess up with the attack up timing trigger between phases. It happens a lot, especially in farming quests when I'm like turn 3 and then pass on to the next phase, and I only have 1 turn of attack up, and we'll lose that attack up.
It.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so turn duration is kind of annoying.
It is, but in the end of the day, ignoring the stacking buffs, he still, no matter what, will always have at least 1 buff for the first 4 turns, which is pretty decent. And it's usually more than just 1 attack buff at that point.
Since you'll probably pair him with someone else who gives an attack up buff, and unfortunately, the only one who does that in this bonus unit set is Valentine Sertra, who is limited. Thanks. So that's annoying.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how like hero is actually as me and Zalgus figured out, or can agree on anyways, and independently figured out, he's quite like ballistically broken when it comes to his damage output. But this event is not helping at all in terms of achieving that. When none of the units really buff anyone except for themselves, except for Balancer, or if like.
Well, there are units that can bestow some buffs, but
you'd like have to use them or something.
It's like fucking Sol, and as we'll get to.
And Orgus as well. He can bestow.
Yeah, but then Orgus has to give up his own damage, which kind of sucks.
No. Let me just check this.
Oh no!
Yeah,
Cheating.
he bestows arousal, so he can.
Oh right. On him.
I was just contemplating a bit because I do remember seeing him bestow arousal, but I wasn't sure yet because I actually didn't check him.
Yeah, well, turn order will still matter there. You would have to place Orgus first.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, I guess actually Hero is supposed to work well with Sol or work well, quotes, with Sol and Orgus, party members.
This is like the Desert Journey Part 2 with the Celebrations.
Oh, wow. Wow, it's not quite as egregious, so...
Yeah.
They're good by themselves. They can do their jobs by themselves, and it's actually pretty reminiscent of the whole game they're collabing with and the RPG aspect of. In fact, almost all of these units have some of the unique traits they had in their own game, which is kind of neat.
The immunities.
And not immunities, but the fact that basically Sol and Orgus can help out Hero become stronger, and also Sol's protection only lasting 4 turns, because that's actually real too in the game. And Orgus's ability to guard the party and not attack for 1 turn.
Have you actually played this game, or like?
Yes, I have actually started playing this game on this weekend.
Where did
I have started?
Do you understand it at all? Is it? I thought it wasn't translated. Like,
there is the prologue is translated, and there's still quite a bit of about. It still has some content, enough content for at least an hour or so.
It's more Nazi syndrome. Only partial English translation.
Anyway, we're getting sidetracked here.
Yeah.
So yeah, Hero. Turn 1, he can deal decent damage if someone else gives him an attack buff to go with attack up. His ramping is not really that practical in most cases, and it also means after turn 4 he'll completely run out of steam because he can no longer give himself the buffs. He can do it every phase, but he'll run out of all his buffs and you need to rely on someone else. But he can inflict decent damage. His attack stat is about average, so he doesn't suffer too much for that. Aether is a decent attacking element and a surge shot. The rest of his kit is, the 3rd skill is kind of not really... The 1000 heal to self and allies is nice, but the moving skill is not useful at all, because you shouldn't be moving Hero because there's...
the same.
Any benefit.
I don't have Orgus, so it's like the only unit that really bans from moving in my entire team is Hero himself. So I decided to move when I have nothing else to do.
I get. So if nothing else to do.
Yeah, when you don't have a moveset, I guess you can move him for. Wow, 400 HP, amazing.
That's kind of terrible team building. Such a strong slot. But yeah, the 1000 HP to self and allies is nice, but the move is whatever. His other notable trait is his, I guess he has another one, but so when he attacks enemies, he removes their buffs, but he also removes debuffs from allies. It's kind of a shitty proc rate at 50%, but
remove buff and remove debuff are always shitty proc rates for whatever reason.
They really don't want to make it too easy, but it's a powerful effect. Removing debuffs and removing buffs all in one hit. If you hit multiple,
it's after.
Can remove debuff proc at multiple times.
Yeah, I can.
Okay, good. So since he's short, you can remove multiple debuffs at a time. Unfortunately, he doesn't remove his own debuffs.
If he hits multiple units, then he'll remove debuffs for each ally behind. So if he hits 3 units, then he can remove up to 9 debuffs, 3 from each unit behind. Each from each unit beside him from the front, and the right and behind him. And for remove buff, of course, if he hits a large boss 3 times, he can also remove 3 buffs.
Yeah, so that's a nice niche to have, because it's not too common to have a package deal. Actually, I don't even know if any unit has a package deal like that.
I don't think
Protagonist.
they do.
Oh yeah, protagonist. Of
Yeah.
A
course.
protagonist.
So protagonist, wherever a protagonist would be good in, ignoring his crit, I guess, but like
The hero is probably better, except cost.
Yeah, he just protagonist does need in for the same reasons as the hero is, in that they're good for if there's just a constant onslaught of debuffs or buffs that are disadvantageous towards you, and so like
It's easier for hero to deal with.
Like
It's longer range.
if there's like a whole bunch of debuffs in phase start, then you're better off with something like Tante. But if the debuffs are persistent throughout a phase, then something like hero would be better. Yeah, but that's like not really his main function. It's more like a neat little callback to the fact that he's related to the protagonist somehow. I
don't know, maybe it's a thing from his own game.
yeah. But anyways, you didn't mention this. Sorry, Ruby, what were you saying? Well,
Ruby?
I wasn't going to say anything.
okay.
But it does refer to the game as well, because it can also cleanse people. It's sort of like or something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
But
Curse. No.
curse removal is like, I guess it synergizes with his rampant damage, but it's like, let's
Curse,
be real, it's just
curse,
for
curse immunity is for flavor, but it's nice to have because curse is annoying.
Curse,
and it's very
is like the most common attack drop, probably.
And it lasts a long time, so nice. It's nice to have. No reason not to have it, and it's not useless, unlike Countdown, I guess.
What?
I don't know. You never encounter Countdown.
Well, we may at some point.
It'll be useful more for now.
Oh, actually, it'll probably be useful in
The
Yukimura's
Ryo's dungeon.
Yeah. Oh, no, Fisher King's dungeon, not Yukimura. Anyway, so the last part of the hero is his CS. It has a deceptively large description, but basically it deals double damage against anyone who's like a Dark Lord or related. You can go through that list, but that is probably a thematic thing. But it's nice to have when it's there.
Yeah, it's a thematic team, and it also heals.
Unfortunately, the heal is very whatever. Well, does it heal per enemy hit or just once?
It heals by enemy hit. Yes.
Okay, so that could actually be pretty good. Since it's full range.
Yes. Yeah, he's
But-
like an okay healer, which is a slightly usurps Soul's role, as even though Soul's role is a dedicated healer. It seems like Hero might actually do the healing aspect better. But
So the CS is pretty good because it's all range.
And-
It's actually here's something we were discussing. What I discussed with Ara is that it's our first free unit with all range. So that's actually a pretty neat thing.
yeah, if for whatever reason you just had atrocious luck and never got yourself a unit with all range charge
Or
yet,
you don't want to use Christine because she's
Christian.
then you can access it finally now with Hero and finally join the ranks of like this OP strat of just buff stacking, which is built in his kit too.
yeah,
It's like
he has
he's
built
a giant
buff
callback to the current meta in a sense.
So since you can always get since he's a free unit, you're guaranteed SA 100, which is great. At SA 100, at SA 1 with no buffs, with all buffs, getting my tongue tied here, he will deal 82,870. So he'll deal double that with SA 100. But of course, that would imply that you were able to get all 4 buffs and time it right. One of the unfortunate things about his kit is that he has no method of self-charging CP besides Ardor, I guess. And this is actually something annoying because in his 3-star, his second skill is something different where he gains CP after buffing. And they should have kept that because, then he could synergize.
They probably didn't want to make him too powerful.
They
and
gotta
edit
give the 3
heal.
stars something. They gotta give him a purpose somewhere. Also,
Well, then his CS is shit.
also, just to add on to that, it's like not even that amazing of a rate on the 3 star. It's only 50%. That's like whatever. Who cares?
Yeah,
But-
I honestly wished they had kept that part, the CP, because it would synergize with his kit, because, he's supposed to give himself buffs after getting other buffs, so...
Well, why don't you he kind of does if you talk about the 3 units which we talked about earlier before this discussion that synergizes with him.
Okay, so in order to get the most out of his after buff, you would want either a lot of unique buffs, which is harder to achieve than buffs that last only 1 turn. Buffs that last only 1 turn are arousal, tenacity,
Protection, evasion.
Yeah, evasion. Well, evasion's kind of rarer.
And all crits.
Yeah, all crits. So there are a few choices, but if you want to do it passively without having to move someone, except into position, there was only 3 choices that Ara found for me because
I got time.
He did it before I even looked into it, but it is only Furufumi, Dakoku, and any Baron. Baron and Furufumi give arousal, I believe.
Different conditions, but pretty much the same.
And Daikoku gives protection in front. So
and he also gives CP in his usual kit as well. So
those are the only buffs which last 1 turn and will be given out passively. They work well with Hero.
Yeah, and if you do pair him up with Hero, not only will he be able to actually get all his buffs, but they're all CP batteries. So
that's what it does. There's also other units like people give evasion like Kotaro or Orgus. Orgus also gives arousal. And then there's also stuff with tenacity like Valentine's Shino.
Yeah,
also be something like limit like Horus or
Leonan.
Leonan is probably not a good choice for this. I kind of want to say that before because
always a good choice.
It's redundant here. You could probably spend up that slot on someone better that synergizes them, like Furufumi in this case, for example.
Everyone synergizes with Leonan.
She already has 2 of those 3 buffs.
Anyway, this is running a bit long, so I'll finish it. So Hero, for a free unit, he's not that bad. He's a decent attacker, although he kind of has some annoying conditions in that you need someone else to buff him, and if you really want him to do the big damages, you have to wait for him to ramp up, which is not always practical. He can heal himself a bit, that's whatever, but it's nice to have. He's decent at removing debuffs and removing buffs. Pretty good at it, actually, for a free unit. And his CS is not that bad. First or range, he can get some pretty powerful damage out of it, especially because you can automatically get SA 100 if you actually play this event. And he's pretty cheap, so you should. The CS is kind of impractical to reach, but there's tons of CP batteries in this game by now. So,
and as said, if you decide to pair him up with the units that can actually give him those buffs for free, then they actually give him CP as well at that point too.
Especially now that we have support ARs with
Ooh.
people can equip Shiro.
Oh yeah, actually, thank you for
it's actually
reminding me
pretty easy.
One more thing.
Get your challenge.
Sorry. One more thing about since you just mentioned ARs. So there are a few ARs that synergize synergize well, air quotes, with Hero. The 3 I found, I forgot if there was another one, but was Kengo's AR, Oath of Infinitude, which gives crit at the start of turn at a shitty rate of 15%.
Amazing, 15%.
Mission Complete, a 4-star AR, which gives crit at a rate of 10% at the start of turn.
Can see it's gonna matter.
And Shooting Stars, which gives combo at a rate of 10% at the start of turn. So Shooting Stars is the worst one because combo lasts 2 turns, and it also doesn't buff his damage. But Oath of Infinitude and Mission Complete both give him crit, which is a buff that he does not have at all. So if he ever triggers it, shitty rate aside, it'll give him one of his buffs, assuming it's in the correct turns. So those synergize most, but
it's nice.
There's something you can equip. There's something you equip, and if it pops up, then that's nice. You get like a 8 times buff,
and I'll never get in the way of it. And just to reiterate, the reason why it's really good is because the combination of start of turn or on miss plus a buff that lasts exactly 1 turn is quite powerful for Hero.
because it means he has it ready to refresh next turn. You know, assuming you somehow triggered crit 4 times in a row, you'd get a lot of benefit out of that.
Yeah.
But that's not going to happen. That's like 10% times to the power of 4.
Just Turnstone, obviously.
Oh yeah.
The true strats.
Yeah,
I mean, you know,
Turnstone's
if you had maxed out Kingdom AI, it'd be 30%, which is not really that much better. But
anyways, it's a bonus. Don't consider it as a main strategy. Anyways,
Yeah.
guys, we're running over this. Could you read us out the comments?
okay, scroll up.
So just go back up to Nekros, though that's spicy, as said by Gawi, and then there was like a shit ton of comments since then for whatever reason. But good luck with that.
Well, because we've been talking for 27 minutes already, because I have a habit of running my mouth. The hero is best when paired with Soul and a CP battery. Not sure about Soul, because Soul... Well, I'll get to that. We'll get to that. CP battery, yes, though. The hero, snowball effects with attack buff. Yeah, pretty much. He snowballs, and then he hits something, and then he runs out of steam. I saw someone say he works better with Orgus. Yeah, I think he works better with Orgus than he does with Soul. We'll talk about that later. I had to rank to fit him in my team. Yeah, trying to fit hero for his bonus is annoying. I wonder how well he'd work in my dungeon team. Lulu, probably not very well, considering you have better choices in Kotaro. Yeah, maybe not that well now that I think about it.
Just use my Kotaro.
Forehead.
Yeah.
You could even use Man Typhon.
Yeah.
Honestly, just use Lianan if you want the hero to deal constant damage, or just use her with...
But that's redundant. Just like wait for the damage output. If you're gonna like, it work better for a unit that doesn't already have those buffs. Kind of defeating the purpose at that point.
In before Lianan and Cthulhu end up together, they've got chemistry. They work together. Clown. They have synergy. Quotes. 400 HP on Move Fog. Hello, Gawi. Here's my thoughts. Or not Gawi, Gale. Sorry. The fact that there's another banner unit that does this exact same thing.
Is there? Oh, the healing, you mean?
Oh
wait.
Well, that's healing on move, I guess. It's not exactly the same thing.
It's kind of hard to tell when it's after everything.
Oh,
but...
sorry. It looks like he's referring to not this banner, but to Heracles, apparently. What? I mean,
that's Gawi. It was what the line I just read. Gale says that Heracles is 2.0 but needs supports. Not really sure about that.
I actually find Heracles better.
Well, Heracles gets all of his buffs all at once, and he doesn't need any condition at that point.
Pretty much.
And he
doesn't need to reach a certain turn to deal a bunch of...
Yeah, because it's like...
Could you read out the next ones, because I'm dealing with something right now.
Okay, sure. Hey everyone, hello Jackie. Astros is still better, haha. If only Zalgus was here to comment on that, since he regularly uses that unit, but he's not. He's currently dead. I will revive him later. Talking about TS on our stream. Who are these stream? Who are the real Arabian? So, hey, what do you mean, Luther? We always talk about the charge. That's why we're always talking about Zalgus. What do you mean? What the heck?
We always talk about the charge, but we always say it's shit.
I don't say shit. You'll be hard pressed to find me saying someone is shit. I'll just say it in nicer words, but I mean, technically, I probably feel the same way to some extent. They didn't make 4 stars was charge after buff because we have 2 already for that nuclear damage. Well, yeah, we also have that 5-star AR that can make anyone do that now, provided they follow the restrictions. The Tetsuok's Wakan Tanka AR. Charge after buff. Yeah, so it's like that card gives CP after every single buff they receive. Lucer says, "Balance sheet, hyper evil, the ultimate scene." I don't know. I
don't know about that either.
Okay. It's just you're kind of wasting a lot of his kit there. It's like, you know, a team is like a puzzle, you know. If there are just pieces that like are already like taken, then you're kind of wasting opportunity for picking a different unit that can both fill in the space as well as contribute more, rather than just getting like redundified, if that's a word. I just got the analyst search. Wait, what? Why did my eyes just suddenly flash? Oh, someone commented. I got the analyst searching for Orgus. Haha, nice. Lucky. I just want the fusion of red only and can go. Yeah, he's pretty cute. Orgus is, he's alright. He's alright. Yeah, Leonine looks cool too. It's that soft, iconic art style from the artist. Both hero and what's with the soul censorship? Let's see. What it says.
Hello, I'm back.
Okay, well, you better make up for it and take responsibility and read the rest of the comments.
Assuming you were talking about both soul and hero and soul heal on move.
Yeah, so you can continue from there.
Say it nicer, Ara.
What? Please?
At least since he's shot, he can equip shooting stars, so that's something. If he had an entire team dedicated to give him charge, he could be a budget Katana. Ooh.
Did he learn something new?
Does that work actually? Put shooting stars on hero and all range CS will penetrate thing.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah, it should work.
Ooh.
Oh, that's
Okay.
pretty
That's a nice
big brain,
thing.
tons and tons. Pretty big brain right there.
Yeah, I completely forgot about doing that. So yeah, that's a pretty neat synergy then. All in all, the hero is pretty solid for a free unit. Yeah, I'd say he's not like completely broken, but you know he has his uses: decent attacker, decent debuff remover, and buff remover.
He's just
all
like
range CS.
he's like the current meta condensed into one unit. Buff stacking
kind
and
of-
all range charge.
Yeah, he kind of cherry picks things from other units, and maybe he's not as good at it. Well, honestly, I think his remove debuff and remove buff thing is great, but the rest of his kit is like lighter versions of other strong kits. So, yeah, he's pretty good for a free unit.
Yeah, so definitely max him out. He's if you ever see my dungeon streams, I'm like, wow, I wish I could do that, but I'm not a fucking whale like Garrison. Well, first, number one, I'm not a whale. I'm just a luck sack. And two, you too can now try it with tier, provided you can wait for 4 turns and get the CP timing right. All right, so I think we have discussed to death hero. We should move on.
Hour.
Yeah, well, at this rate, I'll be going over my time where I need to have a different preoccupation at 5 o'clock. Ara, what did you tell yourself about the M word? What is the M word? I don't know what the M word is. I'm not a wheel. Alright, so I will be discussing the next 2 units because unfortunately that's just how it works out since Zalkus preferred hero and obviously Irby has first dibs on Nekros. So
Yeah.
I will be defending my man Soul, who is super cute, but like his kid is like so I just to briefly touch on his main points, let me just cheat a bit and glance at my notes. Alright, 3 points. So he's a healer, although as we discussed earlier, hero pretty much just does that job better since it's like whatchamacallit, he has that face art heal, whereas Soul does not. And also Soul's own blessing is like at an abysmal 50%. Not really something you'd want to rely on. But it does technically synergize better. Oh, the M word. Yeah, I said the meta word, my bad. I'll plug myself later. But yeah. It does technically synergize better with Soul just because healing in general is trash if you don't pair it up with defense buffs. But that's sort of Soul's job, at least for the first turns, which is his second role, which is to provide protection to the entire board. So it doesn't matter what position you are. It'd be good for like large boards, especially if you're pushed against the sides. To every single unit on your side for the first 4 turns. Not per phase, but per battle. So that's probably his most controversial feature. That only lasts for the first 4 turns of battle. And then for later phases, like that role of his is just kaput, non-existent anymore. And his third rule would be to penetrate, or at least partially penetrate defense buffs. He can penetrate a level 0 evasion completely. But evasion does scale and its defense and those twice as effective by its skill status level 100. So it doesn't fully penetrate it technically. And also he has the new irremovable debuffs he can inflict to enemies, nullified protection as well as nullified defense up. So that's another aspect of his ability to penetrate defense buffs. Except it's slightly different in this case. It's not just Tajikara or Eita in terms of their skill evolutions. Rather, it enables him not only him to penetrate those buffs, protection, defensive, but also enables any follow-up allies to attack also to take advantage of that as well. And lastly, he is a flat damage dealer, which is per enemy hit for his 3-star only, for like kind of a somewhat measly 800 HP, to like a slightly better, oh, I'm going too far, slightly better 1000 HP for his 4-star. And most notably, it's not just to the enemy he hits, but also to the enemy, the collaterals that are adjacent to that enemy he hits. So he, for large bosses especially, he does have some decent potential. Did I not write down the actual exact amount of damage he can do? Yeah, it looks like I did not, because I'm a dumbass. But yeah, he can do a large amount of flat damage on large bosses, because not only will he reduce the HP for each of those squares, the 5 squares in his magic range, but he'll also, for each of those squares, reduce another 1000 for the boss squares that are adjacent to those squares. So it works out to, I forgot the exact amount. I'll just calculate it later when you guys are talking about it. So you guys,
16 hits, or if it applies to
16 hits. Did you calculate this, or?
We're talking about the negative HP thing, right?
Yeah.
The flat damage.
The flat damage, yeah.
We won't. Well, I don't know if you tested it, but I wasn't sure if it applies to the spot that it hits.
Yes, it does apply to the spot.
Okay, good. So in that case, it will hit 21 times on a giant enemy if you hit all 5 hits. So 21,000 HP.
Yeah, so that's pretty decent, actually. That makes him one of the best, at least for large bosses, flat HP depleters. Still second place to Corpcore only. Robinson actually just does a lot more, but his rates for his flat HP reduction is quite abysmal. So in reality, if you're going to be spamming flat HP reduction strategies, then you'd probably want 2 Corpicores plus 1 soul. Alright, so that pretty much summarizes my main thoughts on him. Yeah, what do you guys think?
I think soul sucks.
I think his kit could be a lot better. It's kind of bad, but
why
I
isn't
think
it on
he can
base?
I can find a couple of situations where he can be useful, especially when you're doing stalling teams and for whatever reason you want to do a fully defensive team with no attack whatsoever. Well, Saul's going to solve that low damage output in that case, because he's going to be able to allow the team to partially penetrate the defensive buffs while also inflicting flat damage every time he attacks.
Yes.
While each other support themselves with heals and CP and defensive buffs.
Shame he can't penetrate the actual most common defensive buff, tenacity.
Yeah.
Don't know what that's about.
Tenacity should have been there.
It's all around strange how they decided to ignore tenacity and adamantine. Should have just made it consistent, but I guess they're holding it back. Oh, this is not really about soul, but there's one thing that got me excited about the very existence of these things. Nullify protection and nullify debuff are kind of the first of their kind in terms of, they were sort of preceded first off by the very first conditional status, that is poison reversal, followed up by what was it? It was like, there's also bind reversal, and there was also one other reversal.
Poison.
I already said poison reversal.
Poison, bind, and...
There's one more, I know there's one more. God damn it. Wow. Zero. Oh yeah, buff reversal. 0 IQ from all 3 of us there for a moment. But yeah, so they were all present somewhat. But this is the first time it's like really specifically targeting a specific buff and completely nullifying it like this. Like for poison reversal, it just kind of made you stronger, but it didn't necessarily by itself just cancel poison. It did like some other nooks and crannies. And for bind reversal, it does not actually cancel bind. It just makes you stronger. This is the first of its kind that actually just cancels the effects of a status, and that means stuff like nullify evasion could also exist in the future, and stuff like that gets me excited for canceling the M word for this game and reinventing it in some ways.
The wheel.
Yes, pretty much.
But yeah, I think soul poo.
I kind of wish his protection had a way to refresh itself, like
Oh,
a unique.
right, I forgot. It's more importantly, it also sets the precedent of nullifying attack buffs, which is something I think we all sort of kind of want to exist.
Yeah, I kind of want that to exist badly. Break back debuff mana, please.
So yeah, something like, you know, before receiving damage, apply, nullify, you know, brawn, and nullify attack up and nullify vigor and nullify ardor to the enemy. Something like that. That'd be neat.
Well, they could probably add it at some point. But yeah.
Yeah, we can.
Soul is easily the worst unit on the banner. Well, in the event, because, you know, that includes hero.
Hey, as Irby said, he found use within the drop quest, and the challenge quest might yet again require his ability to make have the penetrate, protection, and defense up for the team.
He certainly has a good spot for a specific kind of setup.
Yeah.
That I talked about, the full turtle heal with no damage. If you ever want to do that, but he actually solves a lot of problems, and I have actually tried it out with a couple of healers and CP charges, and it actually worked out pretty well.
Oh yeah, so his protection, I guess, is supposed to synergize with hero, because, you know, for 4 turns he can give him a 1-turn lasting buff, and, you know, it will trigger all of hero's buff conditions, except hero is every phase and soul is per battle, so I guess maybe they thought it'd be too broken with per phase, but soul's a gacha unit, so I don't.
Yeah, no limit one at that. Why is it being so strict? I mean, they're usually like this. They're usually like this when they introduce a newish feature. They make that newish feature really crappy, unless it's Christmas Easter for whatever reason. But other than that, this is like making it like a globally spread buff that's near guaranteed.
Skill seed bait.
Yeah, basically. Actually, is that guaranteed? Yeah, it's near guaranteed.
Skill seed bait.
You'll be hard pressed to find something that's not skill seed bait anymore.
Oh wait, no, Leonan is skill seed bait.
They're all skill seed bait. You can't use Leonan.
Yeah, ask Aras Leonan about that.
I've skill seeded her 3 times. All right, the rest of the sun will become. I don't know what to tell you. I'm doing my best, but LifeWonders is not feeding us these events. All right.
Gave us less C's than usual.
Should have just given us 5. The next event won't even be able to master. Whatever.
I think it kind of makes sense because they did lower everything on the shop. It seems like it has less items overall to compensate for less units. No, it doesn't. But thankfully, tickets and HP and the tax seeds remain the same. But stuff like crests and tablets and stuff like that have been drastically reduced.
Oh no! What am I going to do about that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's unfortunate. But I need to continue this. Do you guys remember where I was in the chat? To read the comments before. Actually, we didn't even talk about the charge. His charge is terrible. There you go. It's fucking. Why protection? It's like one of. No, it probably is one of the worst, if not the worst debuff. Buff you can bestow on charge. Why protection? 1 turn, and then it's gonna be charge levels level 1. Like, who the fuck cares about that?
They could have at least made it like tenacity or something. So.
Well, I think tenacity would be. Yeah, it could have been better. Yes.
Yeah, if it was tenacity, at least he would, you know, be able to stack it with his protection. You know, assuming he somehow got his CS before his 4 turns were up.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. And even this just makes him a liability against if he's facing like a mirror match against another soul, because you know, these nullify protections and nullify defunct substance, they don't actually nullify it. What they do is they add a counter multiplier that cancels out the max status level 100 version of protection and defense up, which means if you're only putting up a status level 1 protection, which is most likely the case for Sacred Artifact level base status, then you'll be actually receiving more damage than usual if you have been inflected with nullify protection. So very stupid.
I just thought of a meme to make. I'll be drawing that one.
Okay, well, show me that meme later. Anyways,
Okay.
We will just move on from this unit, who's very cute, but unfortunately, his usage is quite limited. But before I move on to the next unit, I'll just read out the comments. Gawi says, yeah, I said the M word, sorry about that. Here comes the Vern, the Minecraft villager. What? Soul's ass rivals Yasuyori. That's just, he's copying his homework basically. A mediocre healer, but a healer still.
I don't know if that's a good.
I actually don't think he's an actual healer. He doesn't have enough healing capabilities.
Yeah,
to
he
be
doesn't even
considered
heal
a
that
healer
well.
in my opinion.
I mean,
he's mostly used for his nullified protection and his protection and
yeah, that's his most unique feature.
all his fixed damage.
For the first 4 turns, well, excluding turn 1, obviously, because you're not going to have damage on turn 1, he does have the healing role, because, healing actually is relevant when you have defense buffs. But if you don't have any defense buffs, then the damage is just going to outscale too much for it to matter. Yeah, so that's kind of, his healing functionality is tied to his ability to use the protection. Rivals, Yasu blows his out of the water. Yasu don't even try to compare Bakugan. No effect. Yeah, I've been looking at this his skill evolution page for a while, and I was like, I should probably just go to the HTML and edit it out. But then I didn't, because I was like, I just forgot it when I was actually taking it. Oh well. Mistake Nora says, Ryoto beats Soul and healing nullified defense since nullified defense up is niche since it's rare, nullified protection isn't bad since protection is a really common defense buff, just like Tenacity. I believe Soul's role is to be. By the way, within the drop quests, it's actually defense up that's the real issue, because there's one of the mobs just bestows defense up to everyone on appearance. So that's actually what's more relevant than protection.
Also, there's also the deities that have face start defense up. So if we start seeing more deity enemies, which we have started seeing them more, especially with the new dungeon and chapter, yeah, that could be useful.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, defense the defense is becoming a stretch, so don't sleep on it.
Yeah.
No effects on move, Galaxy Brain. That's like, I have no joke potential for that, so I'll just move on. And offensive healer, but Summer Chernobog is this, and so does Nekros. We'll get to Nekros.
The funny thing is that Nekros actually has more healing potential. than,
we'll talk about Nekros' healing potential later. I have an issue with it, but you could probably guess why. But we'll talk about it later. Boy, that power creep and no. He's 4-star corporate card. Yeah, this is when we were talking about the flat HP reduction. But Franks, stop, loser! I'm gonna kick your ass.
Are you?
Loser is just apparently trying to spook me because no one else is experiencing buffering, but he's saying there's buffering. Gonna kick his ass. And before Protective Monk Plus, now it's per phase. That would be a really good buff, but it'd also be like it would transform.
That would actually, if he had it per phase, that would actually be very strong.
Yeah, for sure. It'd be
You
like
pair him with like Gangly, and you get quarter damage for everyone.
yeah, and then healers would actually be like much better in that case, especially since with this president said stuff like nullify damage buffs might exist now. Oh, is it actually buffering? Don't tell me it's buffering. Okay, no, it's not. It's just my side was buffering for a second, but it was not my output stream. I'm freaking out for no reason. But yeah, damage buffs might be nullified in the future, hopefully, and that means we might need to rely on rescaling it the other way to our advantage, which is through defense buffs and healing. And healing might be relevant by that point again. Hello?
Right.
Hey,
Hello.
I've explained several times why it's not relevant right now, so...
I just say hello.
Did I say hello? I didn't say hello.
What?
What?
Never mind.
Okay. I'm just gonna pretend that we are all very high-functioning social beings and didn't just have a weird moment there. I just used Soul because some of better is better than protection, but after I will never touch it again. Yes, his ass is better. Yes, indeed. I'd slap that ass. I just want to okay, whatever. But I have units that have defense fear, so yeah, I have both units 5 stars for a reason. I have both Tajikara and Eta, so it's then again they're both thrust, which has been a problem whenever I did need it, which is why is thrust such an ass range? So it wasn't entirely useless.
No bully thrust.
I shall bully it and take the late in it. Soul isn't entirely useless. He's good when paired with the hero and/or anyone can spam nullify buff like Yobu, Arc, etc. I guess. I'm not saying he's completely useless. It's these three here. He can only be used consistently in stall teams, so that sucks. Soul is not that useless. Well, Soul can't really be used for stall teams. He's better for like if he can end the game quickly too, so that his protection can last better. Although, to be honest, his protection first 4 isn't really meant to be used for prolonged games. It's more meant to be like just so you can reposition yourself from like shitty appearance positioning.
This protection isn't even his main thing. Yeah, it is something new, but I think it's mostly just for repositioning as well.
Yeah, so
I think the real deal that they tried to do with him was the nullify protection and the fixed damage.
Yeah. If anything, they'll receive an evolution from him. It'll be him actually being able to penetrate the other defense buffs. That's one I would prefer more than his defense being spread. I mean, both would be good to be honest, but I like more specific features than just more defense buffs. You're not useless, but it's good. It's so niche that there's only so much you can do. I mean, there's nothing wrong with niche. I mean, there's a lot of units that only have a specific purpose, but that doesn't mean they don't have to use this, and that doesn't... Like, remember fucking Babylon? Everyone remembers Babylon. It's just, everyone thought she was useless, but then she actually found, like her second wind was buff stacking, especially in dungeons, where she can take advantage of multiple CPs per skip phase. 10,000 turn battle memes. Yeah. So, Soul would be decent in one phase battles. And Geo, his CS is just pressing. We don't talk about that. Show me the meme too, Zao. They did Soul bad guy dirty. Yeah, I still want him though. He's cute.
Soul bad guy. This is not. Did he actually say that?
Yeah, he did. I don't understand the reference.
Soul bad guys from Guilty Gear.
Okay, sure. Stall units whose defense skills can only be used for 4 times. Tragic. He's not really a stall unit, like I said. At least Soul's not as much of an emerald as for me. Make sure to kick it hard. Okay. Anyways, I am caught up with the comments, and I was about to relax for a second, but then I remembered the sad, hearkening truth that I have to go again and lead discussion again. God damn it.
Does LifeWonders have a company icon logo?
It shows up in the beginning of every trailer, right? Their logo. Yeah, so they showed LifeWonders and not the TAS one. They showed that at the end of the trailers.
Oh yeah, that thing.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if I can isolate it then.
Okay, do that, like, maybe not now, but later.
Right.
Anyways, let's just continue off with Orgus. Orgus, he's pretty cute, I guess. So let me just, like, I was able to refresh my notes on Soul, but not Orgus. I just need, give me a hot second. Okay, so he really plays off of one thing primarily, and that is his ability to switch between offensive and defensive mode. A very strong offense and a very strong defense, but he can only pick one. So there have been units like that before, such as that is a switch unit. Furufumi was the first one I can think of, where he could either play as a defensive tank or like a charge spammer, but he can't play as both because the moment he said he reduces the CP. Orgus acts in a similar manner where you can, it's like one or the other, but not both, where you can take advantage of evasion to, if you decide to move him, you can bestow evasion to the 2 units behind him, as well as gain tenacity for yourself. But the exchange, the cost for that is you have to lose his weapon range, and because he changes his range to none, and that as a result makes him unable to take advantage of his respectful damage output, which, like the dumbass, because I didn't prepare this. Oh wait, I actually did I? No, I didn't. Why then? I
remember them.
Yeah, please do. Apparently I wrote down his damage output for his 3-star but not his 4-star for some inexplicable reason. But yeah.
Nice. So with Brawn and Crit, he will deal 14,194 damage to each tile he hits. I guess I should calculate that with just Brawn. But his crit has a pretty respectable rate, so divided by 4, he'll only deal 3,548 damage to each tile with just Brawn. But
yeah, so crit is.
I think he's actually the highest refreshable, the unit with the highest crit chance.
Yeah.
When attacking.
Fucking, it's like fucking the protagonist has a crit skill, you know, Dragonborn, and it's just normal crit, and it's at max skill level, it's at 40% only. Meanwhile, this guy's already at 32% at skill level 1, so this is respectable for sure.
I think the maximum of when attacking skills having crits was up to this point 25% base and up to 50% now. He starts with 32, so that's actually, I think it's actually the highest we got for a when attacking skill.
Yeah, so, in a sense, Orgus is approaching reliable crit territory. It's just part of his bread and butter at that point, not a nice thing that happens every now and then, but something you do want happening, which is a shame, because you have to choose either between him attacking or him not attacking, and if he chooses not to attack for too long, then he'll lose his brawn and be a bit less weaker.
They don't always need to choose if he has his want to. But you can take advantage of it. Because even when his weapon change is applied, he can still move to get those benefits from evasion and tenacity, and still unleash his charge. So that's pretty neat.
Yeah, that's the second thing about him that I did want to add. His it's more supplementary and it kind of complements it in terms of his damage dealing. But he can gain a lot of charge when he receives damage. 8 CP for every time he's hit, and for some inexplicable reason, his 3-star can gain more CP when he's hit with another after receiving damage skill. That's exactly the same, but at a slightly lower rate. But that's his main way of building it. Basically, he will tank everything, and then he'll charge up, and then with that, when he gets his charge, he'll turn into his charge's thrust range, and that will ignore the weapon change none. So you can both bestow evasion on the same turn you do charge, and still do a thrust range charge. So that's one way you could take advantage of both at the same time. But at that point, you'll actually need to sustain a lot of hits to actually build up his CP in that way. And I guess burn advantage exists. I guess it's nice when it happens.
There's no ARs with it.
Yeah.
Yes, I actually took the liberty of looking that up. There are no ARs with burn advantage.
For some inexplicable reason, Zalgus decided to look it up for no biased reason whatsoever.
I actually knew that too because
You looked it up for Zab.
yeah. Yes.
You guys. Oh my god, I swear to god, you guys are too predictable. You and Zalgus and Tifon as well as Irby and Zabat.
How dare you?
Anyways, yeah, it exists. It's a nice one exists, but whatever. Yeah, that's pretty much summarizes my thoughts on him. Oh yeah, and he has oppression immunity too, but that's just flavor text.
I think he's pretty good. That is the fact that on his tanking stats, he can actually have 2 defensive buffs on himself as well as bestowing the most powerful defensive buff to allies.
Shame his 3-star.
Which is pretty neat.
Yeah, his 3-star has his 3-star bestows tenacity to self before receiving damage, but he also still only gives himself tenacity when moving, so he doesn't get to double buff himself, unfortunately.
He loses in the adamantine.
But yeah, Orgus is yeah, I'd say he's pretty good. He can deal quite respectable damage, and his crit rate isn't it's not that bad. It's pretty much
he loses a bit of HP when his crit procs, but it's not anything significant, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of whatever. With his double defense buffs, he really won't be taking much damage, even though the proc rate is only a measly 40%, but adamantine lasts a long time, so once you get it once, you can really get going.
I'm not super impressed by Orgus getting them on my side, because it's like, it's basically just Savior Plus, except, hey, let's make it work slightly more by giving him defense buffs. But it really is just Savior Plus. If you don't know, fucking mages even have that ability along with Makara. And it's literally every time you move, bestow evasion to the 3 squares behind you. And, reverse slash range. And that's like... They can do that without removing their attack range as well. So it's like, Orgus is just basically another unit with Savior Plus in my eyes. Except it synergizes slightly better.
Yeah, I don't think he's... well, he's way better than Soul, so... But that's not a high bar.
I think he's actually probably one of the best long slash units we've had that actually are meant to attack.
Yeah, most of our long slash units kind of have poop damage, so...
Yeah, well, now we're getting onto like Orgus dealing somewhat reliable crits, along with Suzuka with their new thing, although it's after attacking for some weird reason, and as well as fucking Guillermo getting even stronger for whatever reason. They're getting there. They're redeeming themselves. Sort of, yeah. Anyways, I'll just go read the comments since I doubt you guys have anything else to say, unless you do. Yeah.
He's kind of a vanilla kit.
Yeah, I think that's what I mean. This is why. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this, but yeah, Orgus, like nice bread and butter kit, like you said, vanilla. But I kind of like Soul more because he has like a unique purpose. So Orgus does not. He just kind of. He's just like generally good, but he's not particularly, well suited towards a specific gimmick. Soul obviously is the one you look at this kit, even though you may disagree with his general utility. I mean, I don't think he has much general utility either, but I can't deny Soul will have some specific utility when it comes to it. Yeah, it's just my bias towards specific utility rather than general utility. But anyways, I'm just gonna go continue reading the comments now, unless you guys have anything else to say.
Nah.
Alright.
You.
I have something to say, which is...
What's up?
I wish his CS wasn't thrust range.
Was thrust range? Or was not?
I wish it wasn't thrust range.
You heard it from here, folks. That this is at least 2 out of 3 people in our discussion thinking thrust this shit.
I didn't say that, but it's only because a shift from long slash to thrust is ridiculous.
Yeah, you're supposed to position yourself in the center as a long slash unit, and then it's like all of a sudden you're thrusted and there's no one beside you, and then you can't use your like attack on anyone. That's stupid. Anyways,
Slash or wide slash?
I prefer wide slash actually. Well, wait, I don't. Was this a joke?
On CS, would you prefer slash or wide slash?
Both of them good, I guess.
I don't know to prefer either of the two as well.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter to me as long as it's not thrust. So let me just. Where did I finish reading off last time? Stall units. Fucking Gluster, of course, Gluster.
I
think
it's Orgus units. Looks like Sertra 5.
Yeah, Orgus unit. Orgus is looks like a fucking exception Oniwaka. If you don't like exception Oniwaka, just look at his art. Go like Oniwaka, like
or play the game.
Yeah, basically. Which probably like more than 50% of our audience does. Absolutely not. They just like listening to my sultry voice. Finally, the new husband, I mean Oni's brother. It really does Orgus. Yeah, he's pretty cute, I guess. It's practically the same poses and weapon types. Makes sense. He'd like Searcher, Orgus' husband. Guess I wasn't the only one having a crush on him. Yeah, he's like a better designed Red Oni. And I am biased for Red Oni just because of his like being the first you meet, as well as there's like a very spicy piece of art was Red Oni that forever made me think he was good, but yeah.
No, what about Ryota?
Oh, Ryota.
Okay.
Well, yeah, but Ryota's in like friend zone, and we don't talk about Ryota.
But he's round and shaped like a friend.
Yeah, well, yeah, so he can stay in the friend zone. And I'm sorry, Ryota, but I want to give my full heart. I don't want someone to tell me in the middle of an exception when we're about to kiss, in like the most emotional moment. It's like, yeah, we're only supposed to kiss people we think we love, but whatever. I guess you'll do. That's literally what he said. You know that, right? Fucking that moment forever. Yeah, that moment forever ruined Ryota for me. I can't look at him and say. Anyways, I cut you off several times already. Were you saying something?
I wasn't going to say anything actually.
Okay. Let me just finish up these comments. I guess I wasn't the only one having a question about the reading same things like a Damascus. Does Orgus have a BF or husband? You'll just have to ask me yourself. I never use the evasion thing. Best defense is a good offense. I mean, Azakar does have a point. Like, the evasion is neat, but well, there's rarely a moment where you would want to switch between extreme damage to extreme defense. Usually you just stay and put with one or the other, and that would be the case for Orgus. He gives the option of switching between, but in reality it might just be best not to move at all.
Honestly, I disagree with that because sometimes you just need different things for different phases. Especially in challenge quests, the phases differ from what you need a lot, so it can actually be more versatile in shifting between those phases from hyper offensive to hyper defensive.
Maybe we'll just have to see.
For instance, the Valentine's challenge quest where you're supposed to take care of the
guts phase.
Yes, the guts phase.
The infamous guts phase that everyone hated.
Yeah. I liked it a lot, actually. It was pretty fun. I hope they do more like that, except don't make it cheesable with Tsukuyomi.
It wasn't cheesable, okay? Like, that was a specific strategy I had to pick with him, and it also, like, it would only work if it was lethal, which it wasn't for half the units when I did my own video on it. It was... That one phase dictated half of my team, okay? The other two were just, like, default stuff. Like, so that goes to show that one phase was that problematic.
I would actually prefer if they actually forced people to actually turtle through that phase and not just go through it.
Yeah, well,
just cheese through it with skill locks and remove.
It could happen, but like I said, we'll just have to wait for nullify damage buff, nullify vigor, nullify attack ups, like that. Only then will we actually see stuff like us being forced to play defensively happening, I think. That'd be a good counter, in my opinion.
I guess to be fair, most of the quests have been dominated by a lot of hyper-offensive teams. So, having something which forces you into a defensive position is, something neat.
Yeah, it would be. Because, like, a lot of units are designed to be defensive with bind and tenacity and all that and healing. And then they just don't have, like, a place when it comes to, like, quests that would be much easier finished with full-on offensive setups. With that said, the same defensive teams rarely lose at that same time too. They just take much longer. So depends on right now. Pick your poison. Whether you prefer quick battles that you'll usually win 95% of the time, versus super defensive teams that will take forever to win, but will guarantee you win no matter what. But it'd be better if there was if full-on force you to pick a defensive team, I guess. Okay, sorry, that was quite a tangent. Let me just finish the comments and then we'll move on to Irby, who has been starved all this entire discussion from a proper lead-up to talking.
Not at all, but sure.
Alright, the best one. I feel like a clown when I move him and his vision doesn't prop. Yeah, too real. That's kind of the reason why I'm like, it's whatever, because I've tried to save here before. It's like, it's not really that cheesable. If you're gunning for evasion, then you're gonna want evasion to work all the time. Yeah, he's good.
Shoutouts to enemy Orgus being the only unit left alive.
Good way to stall for, and like if you decide to want to heal or build up your charge for a reason. Places say Orgus doesn't. The effect is supposed to be a reference to a skill he has in the other game. I don't know that because I never played that game. You would have to.
I mean, literally told you.
Well, I know.
Yeah, I told you this like 20 minutes ago.
No, I was getting there. You guys need to hold your fucking horses. Jeez, like I was literally mid-sentence saying you'd have to consult Irby about that, who mentioned that before, because I was saying I didn't know before this discussion. You guys, rude ass interrupting me. Shut your faces. Jeez. But like, I'd like to try it again maybe, but let's give a full proper translation, please. Orgus is a new nice vanguard unit that can clap enemies and defend allies. He desperately needs a heal. Not clap enemies and defend allies. Clap enemies or defend allies. Get your facts straight. The weapon change only lasts one turn. Yeah, we forgot to mention it. It lasts exactly one turn. It's not like any other weapon change. It's when he moves it, that's it. Which is why we didn't say it's going to be annoying for multiple turns, because we all implicitly knew it was only one turn. But sorry we didn't mention that explicitly until now. Thank you for pointing that out.
Can you buff steel and weapon takes none?
Probably, unfortunately, because they still consider weapon change as a buff, even though they shouldn't. And then I lost my place because someone commented, and now I don't know where alt right is. Let's see. The effect is supposed to be referenced to the weapon change last one turn. Remove oppression from self. Your sons are in danger. New band Ifrit levels. Yeah, I was thinking about that too. Ifrit does no longer removes it, so it's like the only band Ifrit now. 10 skill searcher, he gives evasion for 100%. Yeah, yep. Oh my god, I forgot to talk about the synergizing units, but you're correct. The best unit to pair up with Orgus is in fact Valentine Searcher. pretty much all the other cards kind of useless for them. Fucking Golem Bursty will just push units away and make it harder for Orgus to hit him from the side. And also he won't be benefiting from evasion at that point anyways because he'll be beside him. So the only real unit that can benefit would be like maybe 3-star Searcher, but why he would be bringing 3-star Searcher, or Valentine Searcher, which actually has sniper range and can do something behind Orgus while taking advantage of his evasion. AV evasion percent proc can be solved with skill seeds and going to unfortunately using skills for obscene amount of cash. I mean, it's like, yeah, hopefully they made it a lot easier with the past several like events related coins, which I mentioned we all experienced a few times, and some of us had already over like 100 mils now. I'm not, I'm like at 60 mil, but so I'm able to fully seed some as a result. Param is whatever gives limit and certainty to LB3. Yep. Use Dio. Imagine having 5. Actually, his rate's not even guaranteed, so whatever. He attacks, protect, but most importantly, he got your back. He certainly does. You can claim my back any day. Get it, Red Boy. Orgus is just run only. I wonder if I sound like I wonder if I sound like a telemarketer or some sort of a auctioneer speaking all these sounds super quickly. Jesus fucking Christ. Can we romance the Oni since he technically isn't a mob unit? Yes, you can. He's like, you can do the relationship bonus with him. Well, he can do high damage and has one of the most random dodges in the game, so that's enough. But his CS is so bad he can only take advantage of the burn and additional damage run. Yeah, that's why we didn't mention his CS much again. I would say it's so bad, but it's like, you know, a regular damage buff is always kind of questionable on a charge. It'd be preferably something like crit that at least instantly doubles it. Orgus is like macro, but with more damage, way more damage. Yeah, he is, I guess. It's, like I said, it's like Savior Plus, but actually usable. I still use them since I don't have any lot of long switches. But yes, hit more exposed. Maybe he was. Oh my! Why are you guys using the fucking like loading symbol on me? I'm gonna freaking kick your asses. I don't know why he thought he had expanded or he's wanted to move in. Yeah, I don't know. You too, RB? Really, RB? Really? Jeez. Anyways, oh, and level 80 Searcher that gives nullify buff. It actually helps Orgus. Like it's yeah. Would it nullify buff? Would nullify buff help Orgus in some way? I mean, I guess I'd kind of protect him, make him eat hits a bit safer. If they
if you give him nullify buff, he would not give himself weapon change.
Pretty, I think so, because the effect is before.
Yeah, but you're not gonna be bestowing that to an ally. You're gonna be bestowing it to the enemy. The heck?
Sure.
Can't wait for an AR that blocks up and change. Just update the game. It was a mistake. It should have never been considered a buff. Holy shit! It's like no one will care if it's changed from that. Seriously, it's such
a. Astaroth disagreed.
Well, I disagree with Astaroth. Can we get buffering emotes? I'm just gonna shoot you. How did you guys even doing that? Why is that an emoji? Why is that an emoji? Someone tell me. That's like an image. That's not supposed to be an emoji. That's an image. You can't fool me, Google. Let's just fucking continue. That whole... You guys talk too much. It's been like 5 minutes of me just reading out comments. Jesus Christ. The hell emoji is that supposed to be?
Is that like Diddy Kong?
Why is this an emoji? What?
The emoji is called oops for some reason.
Why is this an emoji? I don't understand this shit. Okay, you know what, Irby? Just purge my brain from thinking. Please lead the way for Nekros and Bacchus now.
Alright, Nekros and Bacchus. Okay, this is the 5-star unit from the banner. There's only one 5-star unit in this banner, and he's actually one of the strongest, one of the heaviest debuff inflicting units in the game right now. He is capable of inflicting Dazzle, Charm, Bind, Stigma, Countdown, and Curse to enemies, which is actually pretty ridiculous. So his main thing is that he pretty much is going to apply Dazzle and an arrow formation in front of him, slash and thrust range combined. So basically every turn he's going to be applying that Dazzle and effectively reducing the enemy's attacks directly in front of him. So he's best used, at least for the most part, in the front exactly, to get those procs to happen. His 5-star also has a phase start charm and the same range, so that's also another reason to keep him in the front, because then he will also have an additional chance to inflict charm.
Yeah, it's like his one new thing that immediately, if you forget everything else, just remember frontline sniper, frontline sniper.
Pretty much. He
weird.
also inflicts.
Yeah.
He also inflicts two debuffs when he attacks, which are bind at relatively high rate and stigma, which he can take advantage of at seed bait rate. That is, and he also gets after receiving damage, he can inflict countdown on the enemies and regeneration on self, which is actually the countdown is at a low rate, but
It's really
he gets it is very high for countdown,
Yeah.
especially refreshable countdown that can be applied multiple times. Instead of just on the first turn or on the first 2 turns or whatever. But his most interesting thing, well, not the most interesting thing, but the also new thing is that he has an all-range crit plus charge, which also inflicts curse, but curse is whatever. Which can actually lead him to deal probably one of the highest all range damage units right now, assuming you get his SCA up. Otherwise, it'll just be Valor probably.
Good job on getting
actually-
pulling him in.
So basically, his damage isn't doesn't look to be very high, but he actually has nearly the same damage per square regularly as Tsukuyomi, including his Infernal Advantage. He basically inflicts 6.9 k damage per square if you count the flat damage he also inflicts, versus the 7.1 k that Tsukuyomi inflicts with weakness and his Infernal Advantage. So it's actually not that low. He's also Nether, which also helps because Nether and Aether are only resisted by Valiant, so they're not going to be a lot of enemies that are going to be taking less damage from this. I think
Unless you're talking about the tall quest for the drop ones. Fucking Gillen Burstian and also disadvantage against the fucking tank Usnir and the statue.
He also has another feature of him, which is okay, I guess. if he misses, he heals everyone adjacent for 400 HP, and also has a chance to heal at a wider range for an additional 400 HP, including himself, which is actually pretty neat. Especially, I think this is mostly just an after when you're about to finish a phase or something.
Yeah, it's
If
mostly.
you need an extra heal to move to the next phase, you can just place him by not hitting.
The thing is, his heal is it synergizes with his kit in a sense because the heal, like I said, works better with damage attenuating things, and he has like 2 of those. Actually, even 3 if you count charm, along with bind and dazzle as well. Meaning that heal would proportionally just make up for a lot more of the damage. But yeah,
it's only on miss, so
which is extremely not happening with sniper magic. So
it depends. I think snipe is actually possible to get that on miss. Actually, especially since you're going to be debuffing your frontal enemies the most times, so they're going to be shifting positions, etc. And you can eventually whittle them down and find a way to get that heal off. Especially since you don't actually need that heal when you start the battle or anything. You're going to need that heal after the phase is almost over and you're moving to another phase, or after you got hit a bunch of times and needed an extra heal to be ready for the next phase, etc. Stuff like that. That's at least what I think the intent is. His regeneration also helps, but he's pretty much going to be a unit that will be shutting down everyone in front of him and keep the board under control. ARs that probably synergize with him that I thought at least was the Every Cloud has a Silver Lightning AR, because it bestows him an extra CP on phase start, which he doesn't have any form of generating CP, which is a shame because his CS is actually pretty powerful.
That's kind of one of his biggest flaws. It's just that one of his most powerful features is just the rest of his card is not helping it at all. It's just sort of sits there in isolation in its own vacuum.
But the other good thing about this AR is that it also inflicts extra damage against Curse, which he also inflicts on his CS. So it's actually a pretty neat AR for him. Another neat AR for him if you're using buffs, heavy buffs on him for some whatever reason. It's probably single Bolts Club because it helps get his CP up and get his CS damage even higher.
Very good catch, actually. I'm willing to put in the research when it comes to when we talk about ARs and figure out what sheens are good for that. But nothing like I did slack just because the wiki's a bit harder to parse in the reverse direction, finding ARs that are good for a particular unit.
Yeah, I think he's actually arguably the best unit in this banner. He's got a lot of potential in my opinion, just for the sheer amount of debuffs he inflicts. If the double fly buff meta is going to happen, well, he's going to solve a lot of those problems.
True, still being able to deal decent damage with Stigma, but not just that. If we're gonna switch back to more defensive strats, then the way to deal with that is actually to ignore or remove those defense buffs. Or in Bacchus's case, he has a lot of things that work towards a flat HP depletion, which would work better for that as well. Being Stigma and the flat HP on hit, as well as Countdown. But yeah, again, better in the front line, not just because of his phase start and turn start thing, but also because he's just easier to get hit and to inflict Countdown when he's at the front.
Yes, I forgot to mention that. He's also immune to Countdown, which is, I think, the only unit that is immune to Countdown so far.
Yeah.
If we don't count the Ryota AR, which is
Amazing.
okay. If I did think that where this could be handy, it could be handy if you're fighting enemies with reflect debuff, and they happen to attack Nekros, and that debuff gets reflected back at him somehow.
I didn't really consider the utility of these immunity things because in my eyes they're just lore filler. That was nice when it happened, but not really something you'd be strategizing around.
It can be useful if LifeWonders starts to say, "Oh, Countdown meta, it's happening."
It will happen. I'm looking forward to it.
Enemies all have Countdown now.
Sorry, you said something.
I'm not looking forward to it.
But it'll be fun. Like, damage stacking is fun, but it's at its time. Like, I'd like to, was Irby. As much as Irby has been shitting on me for, relying on Kotaro, like, I'm on the same boat with him when it comes to, like, I want some variety of strategies. Like, how about instead of if we're all forced to, like, play defensively and stack defense buffs because all damage rolls are nullified, then Countdown itself will become powerful just because, like, that still just ignores the shit out of everything. So I'd be looking forward to relying more on flat HP reduction strats and actually making it useful against the enemy as well.
Yeah, same here. I think it would diversify the game a lot instead of just using the same thing over and over again.
I mean,
like Leonard and Kotaro.
Oh, okay, you pointed that out, but then you like shamelessly slide into like start buff stacking on Balor. Okay.
I did. I shamelessly plugged in but it was only for comparison purposes with all range CS.
Yeah, for comparison purposes, but even though it's your main dungeon team now.
That's only because I don't have Kotaro. Pensive.
You will forever shit on Kotaro until you actually have Kotaro. Alright, have we actually, Zalgas, have anything to comment on for this unit? I feel like you didn't say too much, so...
I didn't really have much to say because you were saying pretty much what most of my notes were.
This is why you hop in and like be polite about it, but you still gotta interrupt somewhere.
We can't all be like you, Ara.
Alright, well...
Oh, I didn't actually write how much damage his CS does, though. Oh well.
Want to pull something from out of your ass? It's okay. I believe you, August.
No. Well, I think someone did the calculations on the server and said that his CS at SA level 21 is almost the same as Kotaro's.
Yeah, I think I was the one who did the calculation for that. Now I think about it, what the heck?
Yeah.
I couldn't forget that. But yeah, he's almost as strong as a secret artifact level of 41 Kotaro, which is my Kotaro. So he's strong for sure. He can delete things when you like luck suck, like Irby didn't pull 2 copies.
Yeah. Actually, here's something I'll say that's slightly interesting. His 3-star's a bit different. He has magic range, and instead of bind, he inflicts oppression. But most of his other stuff is still the same. He can't charm.
Well, it can, but with his enchantress.
With the enchantress rates.
worse than enchantress. It's not even enchantress. This is worse.
Yeah. But his 3-star. Honestly, I think his 3-star's range is better for with debuff spreading. I think magic is a lot more flexible than snipe.
Yeah.
So,
If you're not going as much for damage, but instead you're going for debuffs, you might want to consider using his 3-star. Since
I also.
Like, oppression is there too, but it just doesn't exist in his 5-star for some inexplicable reason.
I find it very funny that Charm has a lower chance than Countdown when receiving damage.
That's true. Oh man,
terrible.
People would rather commit seppuku than be charmed by Nekros. Too sad.
I mean, he is a corpse.
True, but some people are into that. Anyways, I don't judge, but Irby, go ahead and read the comments. I guess we're both done talking about this unit.
Where were we? Oh, we were at the monkey. Shoot me, Arakun. No. That's trigger for Ara.
The loading
I can't
symbol.
I can't
bitches.
post emotes. Where's the 2 YouTube emojis? Nekros is a Warframe reference. You cannot change my mind. I have not played Warframe, so I don't know anything about it.
I have not either. Imagine being self-certain enough to play different. What? Zalgus hasn't played it? What? Oh.
I don't know what Warframe is.
I think it's like Overwatch or something, isn't it?
Oh yeah, maybe. I'm just mostly surprised because like Zalgus plays every single game ever.
It's
that has ever been
Overwatch, but with robots, I think, or something like that.
Overbots.
Overbots. Nekros is his own husband. There's a deleted message. The Demon King of Decadence in purple.
Did he actually vocalize that?
I vocalized the noise. I am doing this for the greater good.
Not gonna lie, that's what I hear too.
Which one is Nekros and which one is Bacchus? Nekros is the one with the purple hair. Bacchus is the one with the white hair. Nekros is Dagon's cousin. Try change my mind. They are from different worlds. Your mind is not changed. Nekros purple, Bacchus white. Okay, they're already.
Wow, this is a very long discussion for just which one is which.
And Nekros and Bacchus is both healer and debuffer. His heal on this is kind of counterproductive since he has snap change, but at least they're good heals. Plus on CS is nice. Yeah, it's pretty funny that he has more healing potential than fucking Soul. It's ridiculous.
The dead guy heals more.
Yeah, pretty funny.
Like you'll be using Soul and like unironically when the right challenge quest comes one day. Just watch.
Probably because all these enemies have protection and defense on their kits. As
Nekros wants the weapon change none.
Or the other way around. Bacchus. Yeah. Oh god, everyone's saying replying to that. Okay, let's.
People want to be smart.
That's what I thought.
I
but
too
to
can
be
help.
fair, that's how it was. I thought Nekros and Bacchus was gonna be the first good villain.
Irby.
What?
Look what you
What?
did. Look what you did,
You're breaking Irby.
Why? We already have a bunch of broken valiant units.
Maybe
I don't
not
get
broken, but like
it. We have Kamui now, and come on, that's ridiculously broken.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Yeah, not gonna lie. I haven't tested them out myself, so I can't say more than that.
Specifically, well, using the every cloud has a silver lightning arguments, what allows his CS to hit harder. Yes, I said that. It's also good to use with Liana. Yes.
Shut up. Zalgus, what are you gonna prepare that as?
There's also the Kengo and Shiro they are with +2 in CS. Yeah, I guess, but I don't think it actually bestows any benefits to increase that CP. That's why I thought the single blast drug was a better choice.
And it won't help him
Snipe-
with CP, so it'll just be equally as unusable either way at that point.
Unit, but actually, is it really that useful to get a CS multiplier up on a 5-star unit?
Proportionally, it's not
Because
as
I
useful as
thought-
putting it on someone with a 3x multiplier or a 2x multiplier.
It kind of holds on a bit.
Yeah, it's basically just like bestowing them just a nourishment at that point.
Snipe unit, but actually you should use them as a shot range.
Exactly,
Nekros,
pretty much. Like, yeah, I always have to put him in front. Like, it's baffling why they decided to make him a frontliner as sniper, which we didn't talk about, but it's just weird. Like, he doesn't really function as effectively when he's in the back, so it's more of like an option he can have to shoot from the back, I guess. Even though the rest of his
If
stuff
you, want,
doesn't lend
if
to
you
it.
want to use them for the bind for some reason.
Yeah, that's true. You could just keep him in the back as like out of reach as a bind butt. But other than that, it's just the rest of his kit screams frontliner.
You can also be reached on the back as well, if there are snipe units on the enemy side.
Yeah, but then the rest of his like kit won't even take effect either. The whole, dazzle and stuff like that. It's like,
Yeah,
why?
that won't do. Let's see. Nekros, I'm a bottom, but I'm about to dominate you.
Why?
Just.
Referring to healer jokes, whatever.
Just notice Nekros goes very well with Seaside Bolos. Oh yeah, I guess.
I never mentioned that, even though I immediately noticed that because, debuff stacking, but it's already been long proven that debuff stacking is kind of mediocre for Bolos, so I didn't mention it.
Bolos can have a use finally, can't believe it.
No,
That's a smash watermelon.
Don't believe it. He's still gonna be niche in that use.
Yeah, probably. Fortunately, HP reduction when attacking is applied before damage calculation. Yes, Kusid with Kushi or whatever with skill level evolution is the countdown god, pretty much. But that's all he does. He finally does what he's supposed to do according to lore. True. Still waiting for when receiving damage meta. Oh god, I am actually excited for more enemies having that.
I forget when receiving damage. I want more before receiving damage meta.
That too as well. Before receiving damage is better because it.
Yeah, obviously before damage calculations.
Yeah, it's around 15k with 28 SA level. Thought that Shino's revolution would be the start of a new age for Countdown. So Shino is Countdown steady. After Shino, Yasu got it, Tane got it, Balor got it, Kuchi got it.
Yeah, I'm very glad Countdown's becoming more relevant. I used to shit on Countdown, and I've mentioned this at least 3 times because I'm very unoriginal. Yeah, Countdown used to be bad, not because Countdown itself was bad, but because all the skills it was attached to were like shit rates and you weren't gonna rely on it. But now it's becoming more of a you can actually use it as a thing now. It's not just the meme.
When is Spirit going to be good?
Hey, Spirit might be good if it's like given out for free, because it's like there's a lot more units that have those after buff effects now. So if there are more things that just give it as for free, then it's an indirect buff to all those units as well.
Okay, what? It's Overwatch but with robots. Wow, no, I guess.
We're just making a dumb
Like
plan.
Overwatch. Shino is the real Countdown god. Did someone use Visco Girl language? I don't know. Is stream almost over? I'm waiting for our choke
What?
and shoot.
Fucking loser. Jeez.
Out of admitting a Valiant unit is good. Now I know he's a fake.
I've been admitting it for a while, right? Like I still think that there's disadvantage, but it's getting there. It's definitely getting there.
So he a sniper? Well, yes, but actually no.
Pretty much.
Tanis got Countdown? Ha. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Tonic. He's having Countdown.
Yes.
We don't talk about Tonic. Anyways, I think we are done talking about the units, so I will just switch to this new intermission section I did, and hopefully the music will. There you go. No copyright thing. Nothing like that.
my god. Are we
Zalgus.
going to finish it with a copyright?
Okay, one at a time, boys. Zalgus, he said something
Did you tell people about that?
about what?
The copy? Nah, you got copyright struck.
I'm pretty sure everyone who is currently watching the stream knew about it because like that's the screenshots I was being shared was right. Something about copyright infringement, which it's like it was immediately like after I made an issue complaint about it, they took back it and it's back up now. So apparently there was not an issue, but just in case, I will not be displaying the PV in the background mindlessly again like that. But yeah, our discussion is over. Thank you for joining us. You can find Zalgus at
Nowhere.
Discord because he didn't share his videos. I just realized that I showed Sarah's Irby there. God damn it. You can find Irby's videos at
Channel in the description.
the channel description. Alright, Lane Taker. Yeah, he makes good content and he's still making good content. And he actually managed to release the Drop Quest videos before me because I'm an absolute slacking scumbag. Anyways, we are pretty much done. I will just quickly look over the comments and Tiny Clouds is copyright claim. Tiny has to be cancelled. Thanks, Lucer. But yeah, Tiny's like whatever. Sorry. Let the smiling Valentine melt all your depression away. I certainly do let him do that every night, every day, every hour of my life, every second, every single moment.
Except you never use it at all.
Shut up! His skill evolution sucks. 5 stars really deserve it more. Anyways, I will end this killing game right now and end the stream. See you guys. Wait, come on. All at once, guys. All at once. Bye.
Bye.
That's all I want.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.